The atmosphere was electric. Staff had an infectious sense of victory. Victory now in the horizon over the poverty caused by lack of health insurance by not a few Nigerians. It was the day after President Muhammadu Buhari signed the National Health Insurance Authority (NHIA) Act into law. Since the coming into being of the then National Health Insurance Scheme (NHIS), stakeholders had found its enabling law defective in the attainment of universal health coverage (UHC) in Nigeria. It made health insurance voluntary and optional, something industry watchers say was the greatest known obstacle to bringing affordable and quality healthcare services to over 100 million Nigerians. I joined NHIS in 1998. I have seen all but one chief executive. Each one of them made effort to get the law repealed. None of them was successful. It was the scheme's nemesis. But when the executive secretary, as he then was, Professor M.N. Sambo, arrived the scheme, he made the review of the law a life-changing pursuit. He pulled out all the stops in collaboration with political figures to get the legislation on the president's table for his assent. An over 2-decade-old impediment had been melted finally. Added to his epaulet is the fact that Professor Sambo achieved this strategic milestone in a little over 2 years in office. Led by the media unit, Professor Sambo received a surprise welcome mounted by the staff as he arrived at the office the next day. Overwhelmed, he addressed the teeming and excited workers, tracing the trajectory of the efforts.
We gather here today to celebrate the signing of the National Health Insurance Authority bill by Mr. President yesterday. For those of us who have stayed very long in NHIS, we all know that as far back as 1999, the idea of reviewing the law establishing the National Health Insurance Scheme began. Because at the time when the law came out, it was apparent that it was not made mandatory. And there is no way NHIS can achieve substantial progress if the law establishing the National Health Insurance Scheme is not made mandatory. So right from the time when the decree 1999 came out, there was a committee that was set up by the then management to look at the law and see how it can be amended.
Obviously elated former provost of the College of Medicine, Kaduna State University, also gave insight into the NHIA law and the prospects.
What is the implication of this new bill? One of the implications is that NHIS is no longer a scheme. Now we have an agency or authority. NHIS, it will now be converted to what is called National Health Insurance Authority. It makes NHIS to be mandatory. It makes NHIS to be what? Mandatory. So irrespective of your status, you have to register with the National Health Insurance. The National Health Insurance Scheme, and at the state level, the health insurance is mandatory. So all the employees of the state and local government at the state level, they must join health insurance at the state level. The law has provided for provision of a vulnerable fund, which is going to be populated with funds through various means, as encapsulated in the law. The president is just saying that NHIS, we have given you a mandate, which is in line with our next level agenda, which is in line with our sustainable development goals. So we are going to give you the resources to just go and ensure that every Nigerian is covered. So we therefore say thank you, Mr. President.
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 Mr. President, if this is the only achievement you have done in your 8 years, you have fulfilled your mandate. Is that not so?
He invited members of top management to address the audience. With the new law, the scheme becomes National Health Insurance Authority, NHIA, and health insurance becomes a must for all Nigerians.